Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Atar.
Hi, welcome to Great Mother Speaks. I'm Tammy Taylor, inner work life coach and inventor of the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. I want to talk to you a little bit about this Virgo Libra full moon. It is a super moon occurring on the 20th. It's a build up. It's a huge build up. If you remember the new moon, Great Mother came through and she said that it was balsamic moon energy, and to kind of sit on that energy, let what needs to be downloaded, the opportunity to be downloaded for this entire lunar cycle, including this full moon, which is climatic in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. Great Mother is not limited or confined to human convention. And we have some very ancient traditions that say every new moon is a new seed. However, based on the astrology, the energies are shifting so that this transition into what is traditionally a new year is really more than that. It's a new phase of regrounded soul inscription on the planet. It's really that deep. Now, those of you who may not know, Great Mother is the Holy Spirit, the still small voice, our intuition, the part of us, that yin energy, that primal yin energy that is spirit, and it is soul as we know it vibrationally from this ego body. We use the Vedic astrology here with Great Mother Speaks and in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck that uses chakras to align with that soul energy. And so that's why it is indeed a Virgo Libra moon. It's Virgo in the sidereal, in the nakshatra of Uttara Phalguni, which is about relationships, which is about connecting, which is about devotion, a very devotional energy to a fault, in fact. But the Libra energy is what I want you to really be aware of at this particular time, as in the Western astrology, this ancient tradition through that astrology has to do with the seeding. I want you to get something really straight about this. And it's really important because in that new moon reading, I also said that moving forward with these readings, I'm going to be more specific with regard to your lunar sign and where it is in terms of its healing of mama drama trauma, which is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma in cases where she's unable, unavailable, unwilling to heal her own MDT, because it is a cycle. Loving detachment is required, and that is my area of specialization. I am an inner life coach that works with these inner emotional issues to release the emotions of shame, blame, and guilt, which perpetuate this cycle. This is actually conditioned to and through us as we incubate in our mother's womb and as she raises us with the same type of conditioning framework of MDT. To let you know how this deck came about through my inner work, I could not sustain clientele based on my own personal story of healing MDT. I had to get in touch with Great Mother and ask for a tool to assist people coming from various backgrounds and various experiences with mama drama trauma. You want to know more about it? Look at the links below, the definitions of MDT, the telltale signs of MDT, to see whether or not you have it. But for those of you who are subscribers and that have been working with me over a period of time, you know that this emotional energy is what has to be released, because that is what is associated with the mother and how we regard our relationship with our mother, as opposed to understanding it's a soul relationship. In the soul astrology, we have just left the Cancer North Node, Capricorn South Node, and now we're in Sagittarius South Node, Gemini North Node. That means for the prior 2.5 years on a soul level, the planet has been addressing issues of our old way of developing our maternal relationships. Our maternal relationships have to do with our feelings of belonging. And specifically here, what Great Mother is speaking to us about is not only just the home or with the mother, but it has to do with, from that conditioning, that maternal conditioning, how we develop our boundaries in our relationships. And boundaries are important because they let ourselves, first and foremost, be clear about who we are, what's important to us, what's okay, what's not okay, what we like, what we don't like, so that we can communicate those things clearly to others. When we don't communicate those things clearly to others, people don't trust us, and we don't trust ourselves to make good decisions. So it's really important that those boundaries are associated with an understanding of what those original maternal relationships are about. That feeling like you belong. Now, if you don't feel like you belong, and you know that you have mama drama trauma, that's where Great Mother comes in, because it's not about the emotional connection to our birth mother that connects us to the healing process of releasing shame, blame, and guilt. It's connecting to Great Mother, the mother of all mothers, that yin energy within. So you'll see that through your Vedic sign, which is always mentioned before your Western sign, in 24 degrees in precession to it, in fact, that is where your soul is downloading information from energetically. So for example, on this full moon, energetically, we are all, through the collective consciousness, getting downloads from Virgo energy. This energy that's reorganizing, that's specifying, that's inquiring about exactly what is going on with regard to what we're committing ourselves to, what we feel is worthy of our devotion, and what we want to work towards in terms of our responsibilities, in terms of our accountability, what it is in life that is worth our being accountable for and being accountable to. And typically, for most human beings, it is in our relationships to one another. What keeps us committed, what keeps us grounded, what keeps us responsible is that we like it. It means something to us. It's not just okay, it's something that feels good. It all goes back to boundaries, feeling whether or not we belong, feeling that on a soul level we're sharing our gifts, talents, and abilities, that healing energy of Virgo, the daily life of Virgo, working that out with the 3Ds, disputes, debts, okay, and diseases, how we're balancing our health with regard to living according to this soul wisdom. This full moon is coming to a climax. And emotionally, downloading that through the filter of Libra energy is bringing us right into how we're connecting with one another. I want to let you know that as we move forward with these readings, I'm going directly to the cards, to the signs and symbols. But that doesn't mean that the specifics and the astrology is any less important. These introductions are still quite important. However, I want you to know spiral spectrum is the hippest ephemeris on the planet, according to the Western astrology. But it's very colorful, and it allows you to go through each sign, through each cycle, through each transit that occurs in a way that is understanding to you and for you. As you can see, for the year 2019, I collaborated in creating the lunar phase of the definitions, the lunar portion of the definitions. And as you see here with the definition of Virgo, and for the definition of Libra. And so these are the energies that we're working with. These are the energies that we are bringing to the fore. If you're interested in learning more about how to work with the lunar energies, check out the link below. To purchase the calendar, simply go to greatmotherspeaks.info and scroll down to where you see the cosmic calendar to get your copy for this exciting remainder of 2019. As we continue with this year, Great Mother, Father God will continue to activate this emerging cycle into releasing our old structures around our mother, around nurturing, around compassion, around feeling understood and feeling cared for. There's a restructuring of how this is working. And July 2nd, the total solar eclipse, and we're going to have another eclipse at the end of the year in December. These energies are going to really nourish what you're planting during this illustrious season of Virgo Libra. It's coming to climax, and so it's not necessarily seeding an intention in terms of a wish, but it's seeding conscious awareness of what you have downloaded thus far, so that the next full moon, as we move into that Aries new moon, you can culminate your wishes in a way that is respective to what you know. Now, for your Virgo, Libra, full moon readings. Hi, Capricorn, Aquarius, moon sign people. This is a really, really creative month for you in terms of your daily life, just your ordinary way that you're going about doing things, and how you are relating to your mother, how you are recreating your home environment, that kind of thing, because this is ninth house energy for you. And so there's something about a pattern of lifetimes of what you know to work for you in your home environment, and what doesn't work for you, and you're really in a space of feeling comfortable about that. But at the same time, there's this huge shift that's happening, and you're getting some real insights about what needs to be changed in terms of that kind of continuous way that you communicate with your mother, and how that affects your day-to-day life, because our mothers teach us and condition us how to go about our lives from the time we wake up till we go to bed, and what we eat and how we eat, and how we pace ourselves and that kind of thing. So Great Mother is saying that the significance of this full moon for you is the Hattar energy of the pleasure principle. Relax. Let yourself feel the bliss instead of the drudgery of reassessing all of this. It's an intuitive process that has a lot to do with the shift that has just occurred since the new moon from Cancer, Capricorn, and the Vedic into the Gemini, Sagittarius. This is 6th North Node, 12th House, South Node energy for you, generally speaking. In your personal birth chart, it's going to be based on your personal nodal position, which could be Scorpio, Taurus. It could be Libra, Aries, who knows. But generally, the energy is 6th house north, 12th house south. 12th house is release, letting go, and it's also really kind of psychic. You're getting these downloads from Uranus, which is in your 4th house over the next 6 years. So 4th house is mother. 4th house is where the Western emotional Cancer North Node is. And Great Mother is saying chill. The darkest night, the new moon energy, is the energy of, clear downloads. And the second chakra here is talking about where Jupiter is. And Jupiter for you is in your 11th house. And so there are downloads that you're getting about, how you present yourself to the world, in your friend groups, your cliques, your professional networks, how you are kind of negotiating yourself in the world. And so how does this affect your daily life? Well, when we follow our bliss in our daily lives, that affects how we relate to everyone else, right? Or if we are dealing with drudgery. And drudgery is that work, that service, that kind of life has to be hard energy that you may be downloading a lot of times intuitively, that life is hard, from that Capricorn ruled by Saturn energy. And that's really not what it's saying. Really what it is saying is that there are things that need to be done in order for you to follow your bliss. There are things within yourself that need to be honored, such as pleasure, such as you enjoying your life. So that is what Great Mother's coming through, and she's saying with regard to what truly makes you feel like you belong in your own skin. What truly is what makes you feel loved, connected to others, that you feel like you belong. And when we have mama drama trauma, it's so natural to feel alienated and estranged from our mothers on an emotional level. No matter how we fix it up in the outer world, emotionally, there's always that gap of estrangement that becomes normal. Great Mother is saying, don't do that. Be with yourself. Trust how you're feeling, what you know about that with this full moon in your 9th house. What's bringing this up for you are the angels. The angels are saying that they are assisting you to live in loving detachment from the expectations of what your relationship with your mother should be. We all have expectations of, that mother that we all want to be all nurturing, to be compassionate, to be understanding, to be caring in the way that we need her to be. And the guilt comes from recognizing that she's doing it the best way that she knows how, that she's doing it the way that it was done to her. MDT is a cycle. However, in recognizing the difference between being loved and feeling loved, we can receive the assistance from our angels to live in loving detachment from what she is able to express as love to us. This is what's bringing this up. Enjoy yourself anyway. That old adage, nobody's happy unless mama's happy. Great Mother is wanting to go around with the bugle horn and everybody, all of y'all, please let people know that is a falsehood. We have the birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. And your shadow position is wellness. You don't know that. Many of you who do know that, what you do need to realize are that the silent prayers that you have around your birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole don't need to be asked. Just claim it. Claim your happiness. Claim your wholeness. Claim your health. This is heart chakra full moon energy of Sulis. Sulis, the baths of Breton, are all about being able to recognize that what you're asking for is what you already have. You already have the birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. You just don't realize it because you're still attached to the blame, the shame, and guilt of mama drama trauma that on some level you don't deserve it. On some level you're not good enough. On some level you're not worthy. It's all you haven't proven yourself, to be. It hasn't. Again, that old interpretation of Capricorn energy, Great Mother's coming through and she's saying there's a need for a creative assessment of what you thought you knew. You thought that was the way it was supposed to be. And it's time to recreate that sense with this Mars in your 5th house. Now, Mars in the 5th house could also mean that emotionally, you feel that you're pregnant with something. Some of you may feel like you're actually pregnant with a child. Some of you may be pregnant with a child at this particular time. And that is the kind of restructuring of your motherhood that you're going through. Of course, we get a lot of downloads when we're pregnant, either figuratively, imaginatively, materially, whatever way that we are getting downloads about the life that's coming forward and the purpose that it has in our lives. Jupiter in your 11th house is saying that for this year, your contacts, your groups, your siblings, unexpected gains that you might be getting, unexpected pregnancy that you may be getting, from this is all about that maternal energy with Uranus in your 11th house. And so, again, your personal chart is going to give you more specifics with regard to actually where Jupiter is for you, but this is just from your moon sign. Okay, this is just generally from your moon sign, but Jupiter may actually be in your 3rd house in your chart, from your moon. It just depends, and from your ascendant. That's what the personal readings are for. Now, what you want is self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is a balsamic moon card. It's Earth Father energy. And when we talk about Earth Father, we're talking about this energy that walks out the Dharma. So we may be pregnant with potential or pregnant with an idea or pregnant with a child, but the actual birth of the child, that's Earth Father energy. the actual manifestation of the project, that's Earth Father energy. Balsamic Moon downloads that. And so you're already getting an idea of who this child is, of who this project is, based on a past life experience, based on what you've already learned or seen in this lifetime, and you know that this energy is coming forward to answer that. This is the creative space of motherhood and of your immediate environment and your daily life that Great Mother is talking about. Specifically as it relates to your communications, Mercury is in your third house, retrograde. So third house is communications, it is siblings, it is neighbors, but it's also about this reflective phase that Mercury is in until the end of the month, and properly into the first of next month. For the next month or so, there's this reflection in how you are communicating with people and how that daily communication is supporting your pleasure. Now, what's supporting your desire for self-inquiry is Pachamama. Self-inquiry of Earth Father energy is all about, okay, this creation coming forward has come forward and is not what I expected it to be. This project, this child, this imaginative idea, or this project, this child, this situation is coming forward in disappointing ways, in painful ways. Self-inquiry is asking yourself about those self-judgments of blame, shame, and guilt that surround those kinds of situations where something is disappointing or something is not what we expected it to be. Getting really in there to realign ourselves with this seminal inspiration of Great Mother that inspired the Earth Father manifestation. So sometimes when things manifest, we forget all about all this inspirational phase that we talk about here, and we don't match it up. And we forget, for example, so I may be praying for a child. I've had clients like this. And, the child is autistic. They learn after some time that when the child is born, or the child is, some other otherwise deformed or are imperfect. And we know that we're all perfect in our own way, but the reality of living with a disappointment is all about judgment. And it's amplified with MDT. And what we have to do is remember, what was the prayer now? I want to have a child. I want to mother someone. And that's what you got. That's what you got. And so Earth Father energy is remember me. This is when the scarecrow, as Zeke, the farmhand, is reminding Dorothy. He says, do you remember me? And it's not as the farmhand that was playing with you before you fell down in the twister. It's remember me as scarecrow, the brain. Use your mind. Keep your mind awake. Connect the dots between that sleeping, waking state of imaginative power and creation with what you're actually manifesting in your life. Stay in the present with that, because what's helping you to manifest this ability to stay in self-inquiry is Pachamama. You need to go outside with the earth, the trees, and the fairies. You need to spend some time in nature to reconnect with Earth Mother energy. And isn't that the balance with Earth Father? Earth Mother energy in the physical form, in the material physical form, is a waning gibbous energy of sharing, of thanksgiving for what has been manifested in our lives, even if it's disappointing. That's Dorothy leaving the farm. Even if it's disappointing, we still connect the dots and say, okay, this is what I wanted. I wanted a life with Toto, and Toto is our intuition. And following our intuition is following our intuition. It's trusting what we know. And this is 9th house full moon energy for you. You have this full moon once a year, and this is really encouraging you to get in touch with that sense of self-awareness and live according to that. That's what's helping you to stay in a mode of self-inquiry where you are consciously connecting the life that you live with your inner life. This is root chakra energy. Root chakra is ruled by Saturn, which is conjunct the south node. And from your lunar first house, your lunar energy of Capricorn Aquarius, this is 6th, 12th house energy, 6 in your north. And so 6 does have to do with, that work, that daily life is where you're going in terms of revising that by letting go, 12th house energy, some of those ways in which you have lived in the past, those cycles of how you've lived in the past, letting that go, getting in touch with where you're going is going to be assisted by getting out in nature. Okay, if it is particularly cold where you are, just standing outside under an awning with your coat on, just breathing. Just breathing the air for a good 5 minutes, taking you a cup of cocoa outside and just, with your gloves, just breathing, letting the air and the nature of the environment just get into you and through you and feel that connection vibrationally, the air and the breathing with Great Mother and syncing with that. There's a wider, broader, bigger, greater energy available to all of us at all times. And that's what we're connecting with these new and full moon readings. That's what's supporting you to stay connected with what you are creating from your inner world. This culmination of full moon 9th house energy for you is showing us that the present status of your ego soul alignment is Coventina. Now, Coventina is also a very bathing purification energy, a Romanesque goddess energy that is all about this waxing gibbous energy of revising, refining that you're doing, of how you go about your life. They call it the 3Ds, debt, disputes, and diseases. So that's our health. And so every day what we eat and how we exercise and what work we do and how we heal ourselves through our conscious lifestyle choices and the disputes that could create. That's a very ordinary thing in the household of what to buy, for our nutrition and what to eat and how we negotiate all those things that can come into some actual issues and some, anxiety and conflict. But what emerges from that is a purification. This is heart chakra energy. And the heart chakra is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. And that's where you are now. You are at this crossroads of really looking at your wellness. This is in your shadow position, this heart chakra, and this is the full moon. And so you're asking for things that may be conflictual right now, but you're right at that ego soul alignment of realizing, hey, I can handle this. I just need to be a little bit more creative with how I'm doing my diet, or I just need to be a little bit more creative with, how I am managing my time, waking up in the morning, going to sleep, and what I'm doing, and reallocating some things so that I can handle some disputes I might have, or some disease health issues I might have, or some debts even that I might have. Someone mentioned a part-time job that I could do, and that would only be a couple hours a week, or I am doing a part-time job and I don't need to do this job. I need to really focus on doing this with my child at this time. That's more beneficial for me. This is the reassessment of the communication in your immediate environment and with your mother, your inner mother, your yin energy that Great Mother is referring to. This is going to obviously affect your influence with your communication with your outer mother, with Uranus in your 4th house and Mercury retrograde in your 3rd. This is why you want to do this work. You want to surrender yourself to this process completely. On a soul level, this heart chakra energy is really pulling you above that gut chakra. And so it's not just the gut chakra of feeling a visceral, instinctual response. You're moving into a more intuitive sense of surrendering with the idea and with the imaginative scope that you are in a process of alignment. You are in a process of questioning what you have created so that as you move forward, you are creating what you already have, which is your birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. You're wanting to face the challenges involved with this purification process. And you know that in order to do that, you must surrender to the supportive energy of Great Mother that is all around your environs. The sea, the fairies, the trees that are right here, nature, the variant energy of Great Mother that supports us all, and let it love on you. Now, how you want to do this is by consciously processing. So you are processing these toxic emotions of blame, shame, and guilt that perpetuate MDT, and you're allowing the angels to consciously transform you into the energy of a child of the Great Mother, Father, God, who's dearly loved, never judged, condemned, or left alone. This balsamic moon energy is an every mother energy, and you have all this maternal energy that you are processing right now for this transformation of knowing that, yes, my actions moving forward, just as they have in the past, do have reactions. There is karma. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. But there's never judgment or condemnation. And I can move forward with loving detachment, even from self-judgment of that. That's how I want to process all of this. I want to process all of this knowing that even though she may not understand me, or that part of me that still is triggered by MDT may not fully understand this process, how my soul wants to move forward in this process is with a sense of loving detachment. And the angels, of course, are helping you with that. That's what brought up this whole issue of the pleasure principle. Enjoy your process. Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon sign people, enjoy it. It's your process, and we are dearly loved. And so that's the energy that Great Mother wants you to receive from that Vedic Capricorn energy, because the root chakra that you have here is root chakra, which is ruled by Saturn, which rules Capricorn, your Vedic moon sign for most of you, is a message that although it might take a little effort, it doesn't mean that it has to be hard. You might need to go outside, and it might be a little cold, but get you some cocoa and stand under the awning and just breathe and get the love. You know, let yourself consciously register those actions, that karma, so that the karma that comes back is even more and more and more expressions of love in your maternal experience and your immediate environment. By doing this work, this full moon, of pursuing your pleasure, your likely outcome is Pele. And Pele is all about the awakening to your power to be happy, healthy, and whole. Remember when Glenda asked Dorothy as she arrived in Munchkin Land, the Munchkins want to know, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And she couldn't answer other than to say, I'm not either. I'm Dorothy from Kansas. You might feel that at this particular time, but by the beginning of May, when we start to see what's happening with the Jupiter South Node conjunction with Saturn, your ruling Vedic planet, you will probably notice that you will be very, very clear that you truly are a good witch. The bad witch uses her power to control others and herself. That's self-judgment. And the good witch uses her power, her divinity, to love, to assist others in the way that Great Mother, Father, God wills. And we know that will for our lives as the communication that comes through us is always in a loving, non-condemning, and a supportive manner. Enjoy your full moon, Capricorn, Aquarius, moon sign people. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Nami, and Mother Mary.